This is the last example from the definite integrals with substitution notes. So we're going to treat this just like we would any other definite integral. So we're going to use u substitution. So I'm going to start it just like I would. I identify my u, which is 1/3 x squared plus 2. And du equals 2/3 x dx. So I have the x, I'm missing the 2/3, so I need to multiply. Let me write that out a little bit better. So I need f of 1/3 x squared plus 2 dx. Okay, so I need to add in both a 2 and a 3. So I'm going to multiply by 2/2 and 3/3. I am going to put in the numerator 2 and the denominator 3. So outside, I'm left with a 3 in the numerator, a 2 in the denominator. I'm going to shove inside the 2 from the numerator and the 3 from the denominator, x, f of 1/3 x squared plus 2 dx. Okay, so we're going to underline everything again, make sure we've got everything we need. This is the u. And this part here is the du. Okay, so we're ready to do u substitution. So I'm going to keep the 3/2. I'm not going to write my bounds because I'm going to replace them here in a minute. So for the orange, we're putting in the u. For the blue, we're putting in the du. And now we're going to replace our limits here, our bounds, and we're going to substitute into the u equation. So I'm going to do my 3 first. So u equals 1/3 times 3 squared plus 2. Well, 3 squared is 9, and 3 goes into 9 3 times, so 3 plus 2 is 5. So my new lower bound is 5. And then I'm going to plug in my 6. So u equals, All right, u equals 1/3 times 6 squared plus 2. Well, 6 squared is 36. 3 goes into 36 12 times. 12 plus 2 is 14. So my new upper bound is 14. I'm going to integrate this just the way I would integrate anything else. Okay, I'm keeping the 3/2 in front. Oh, there's a catch, sorry. Before I integrate, I have to notice that they told me up here, Alexa, shut off timer. They told me up here that f is equal to g prime. So I'm going to replace this with g prime. All right, so now when I integrate g prime, I know I get back to g. So I have 3/2 times g of u, and my lower bound is 5, my upper bound is 14. I'm going to plug in. So 3/2 g of 14 minus 3/2 g of 5. Well, they tell me up here what g of 5 and g of 14 are as just variables instead of numbers. So we're going to put in their crazy variables. So 3/2 times d minus 3/2 times b. And then the way that Delta Math showed the answer was they pulled out the 3/2. So I've got d minus b.